So now as we get into this and what leaders are actually leading against. Now, of course, there's an enemy. You're right. There's a force that's opposing you, so you're leading against them, but they have another word and the word is friction. And this is something for anybody that knows anything about sort of military science, understands and has heard the word friction before. And it's a word that comes from Karl von Clausewitz, who was a great Prussian general, born in 1780, fought in the Rhine campaigns and the Napoleonic Wars, was a famous military theorist, and he wrote the famous book, Von Krieg, which means on war. So that was his sort of masterpiece that he wrote, and it's well read by anybody that's in the military. It has read On War by Clausewitz. So friction is a term that he coined, as far as I know. It's a term that he coined. I haven't read it prior to him. And to talk about friction, here is what Clausewitz says about it. And this is from On War. And again, I departed from the Marine Corps manual here for a few minutes to go a little bit deeper into friction. Everything is very simple in war, but the simplest thing is difficult. These difficulties accumulate and produce a friction which no man can imagine exactly who has not seen war. So in war, through an influence of an infinite of petty circumstances, which cannot properly be described on paper, things disappoint us, and we fall short of the rank. So this idea of friction is all the little things that build up against you and against what you're trying to accomplish. And I love what he says next. A powerful iron will overcomes this friction. It crushes the obstacles. So your will can overcome them. But there's a caveat. But certainly the machine along with them. So your iron will can smash these obstacles, but it does take a toll on the will. Mm-hmm. The strong will of a proud spirit stands prominent and commanding in the middle of the art of war. And we'll get to will a little bit later. But right now we're talking about friction. Activity in war is movement in a resistant medium. So it's as opposed to doing stuff on the ground in the air, you're doing it in water, or you're doing it in oil, you're doing it in something that is slowing you down and stops you. It is therefore this friction, or what is so termed here, which makes that which appears easy in war difficult in reality. And I will tell you, in working with all kinds of companies and businesses, there's friction in every business. There's friction in everything. Every goal that people have in a business world, there's friction and resistance that's trying to stop you from getting there. And obviously that just slides right over into your life and those goals that you have, and you're fighting against this friction. And what is this friction? This friction is everything. It's everything that is stopping you from achieving your goal. And in war, it's what the enemy does. It's the weather. It's the lack of ammunition. It's the materials that you need that aren't arriving in time. It's a muddy road. It's a strong wind. It's all these little things. It's the weird attitude of your subordinates. It's the mental capacity of your leadership. It's all these things create this friction that are going to stop you from achieving your goals, or at least it's going to try to stop you from achieving your goals. And it's the same thing when you get a business that's trying to make something happen. You know, when you go to formulate a business, this is not an easy process. This is a challenging process, and there's friction that just comes up against you. And obviously, like I said, with your personal goals, we see friction all the time. Now, the Marine Corps, here's their take. So that was from Clausewitz, and it was a little bit of an abridged version, but, I'm abridging. So